Thank you very much, and welcome to the Sonoro Gold presentation this afternoon. And appreciate you all coming. So first of all, this picture here is of the central part of our concession in Sonora, Mexico. And if you look forward 5 or 6 years from now on, this whole area in the picture will be part of a large open pit mine. And we're in the process right now of working towards getting the environmental permits to build the mine and, of course, the construction finance to build the mine. Forward-looking statements, we will be making some today, so I want to caution everybody that sometimes forward-looking statements are not met and sometimes they're exceeded. Hopefully we will be in the latter bunch. The management team of any company is, of course, the most important element of building a foundation for a company. And the 4 main key players in the management team for Sonoro are listed here. John Darch, almost 40 years experience in financing and operating and managing public companies in the resource sector. I have a similar background to John in funding companies in various parts of the world and managing these disparate companies as well. And then in the technical team in Hermosillo, Mexico, we have Mel Herdrick, who's got over 40 years experience in finding gold in the United States and in Mexico, and mainly in Mexico. He was former head of exploration in Mexico for Phelps Dodge. And collectively with his team, he's got over 5 million ounces of gold discovery to his credit over the years. And our mining engineer, Jorge Diaz, he's got 40 years experience in designing, building, and operating gold mines in northern Mexico as well. The location is about a 3-hour drive south of Tucson, Arizona, and about a 3-hour drive north of Hermosillo. And so it's well positioned for an area that is extremely reliant on gold mining. There's a tremendous wealth of expertise in the neighboring towns of Cucurpe, which is about 15 kilometers distance from the property, and the town of Magdalena de Quino, which is 45 minutes drive away. And these 2 locations are the source of much of our local employment, and so we have a greater degree of support from the local community for building a mine there. We are surrounded by producing mines. Mercedes mine to our southeast, very close by, 8 kilometers. The Santa Gertrudis project of Agnico Eagle, just to the north of us by 14 kilometers. And right adjacent to us on the west is the Cerro Prieto mine. When we acquired the project in 2018, of course, the first thing you look for is where the old mine workings were. And a good place to find a new gold mine is where the old-time miners had done some extensive exploration and some drilling and some production beforehand. And way back in the 1800s, early 1900s, we located the sites of about 8 or 9 different old gold mines. And we've been building a resource around these old gold mines ever since. And in 2019, we started putting together the technical data to build a preliminary economic assessment, which was done last year in 2021 by Micon International and Denham Engineering. And Micon's assessment of the resource at that time was approximately 440,000 mineable ounces, with approximately another 250, 300,000 of potential ounces still to be totally drilled over the coming year or so. And this particular prognosis by Micon has been superseded now by a brand new PEA, which we put out about a week ago, and the results put out a week ago. And these results have even enhanced the value of the project substantially as well. But I think what I want to emphasize here is that there's enough material in this initial PEA to support a 7-year mine life for the project. And we've been drilling extensively since last November to build up the resource even further. And we anticipate there'll be several more years of mine life that will be added on to the current mine life. The pit shells that are outlined here were taken with Micon's research into the economics of the project, and currently we are working on the northern part of the pit zone to coalesce the northern pit zone with a more southerly pit zone, as we see there. And we estimate over the next while that we will coalesce these pit zones into one larger zone. The central pit zone, we fully expect that will be one very, very large open pit over the coming years. And the western pit zone, we anticipate it will be expanded off to the west as well. The economics of the project have been increased by the new updated PEA we put out recently, with the economics increasing up to $53 million net present value after tax. This is US dollars. And if you consider that we're currently a $20 million Canadian market capitalization, I think there's room for improvement in the value of the company over the coming year or so. The net after-tax IRR is over 45%, and we fully anticipate that once again, as we continue with the drilling program, that this 7-year mine life that we're showing on here will be increased by hopefully up to over 10 years in the coming next edition of the resource estimation, and what we anticipate may be as much as a pre-feasibility study in the fall of this year. The resource as it stands currently, what we're showing here, 344,000 ounces, is net after the recovery rate of 74%. So it's 440,000 mineable ounces times 0.74, less what you lose to the ramps, and you end up with a production of 344,000 ounces. But over that 7-year life of mine, we're forecasting 45,000 ounces a year production. And based upon a $1,750 gold price, we anticipate that at this point in time, a $1,200 cash cost per ounce of gold. So there's a fairly hefty margin for us there to get a good recovery for our shareholders, but more importantly, to get the recovery of the capital costs, which have been reduced from $32 million down to $26 million with the mine optimization we just completed. So going forward from there, this is a map showing all of the drilling we have done to date. And as you can see, the initial picture you saw when we first started talking was in the central area where the Japonesa zone, where you see the most intensive drilling of any part of the project. But that's where the main pit shell will be for going forward into production. But what we're finding is the average grade for the entire project in the resource estimation is 0.41 grams of gold per ton. But in the southwestern part of the property, where I'm showing the two sections of AA and BB, the Colorado zone under AA is one of the most high performance drilling programs we've conducted yet at the Cerro Caliche. And the estimation by Micon in the original PEA was an average of 0.41 grams of gold per ton. Well, I think and at the Colorado zone, it came in just under 1 gram per ton. And we're getting now results that are far superior to that. This gives you an idea of the results we're getting. Grades of up to 30 and 40 grams per ton in some of these high-grade zones. These high-grade zones are very, very similar to what the neighboring Mercedes mine experienced. The only difference, of course, is we're finding these grades at or near surface, whereas Mercedes mine have to drill down to 300, 350 meters to encounter these high grades. And so if we're able to continue with the success that we've had over the past couple of months of drilling, then I would honestly say that by having the potential to open pit mine this entire Colorado zone, the economics will be superlative and going forward. And the other zone to the north of it, by about 700 meters, and with a continuous mineralization in between, is the Guadalupe vein zone, which is a brand new vein zone that we started discovering just last November. And we're getting multiple high-grade ore shoots in the Guadalupe zone, over a 400-meter length of strike so far. And so we anticipate that the pit shell that you're seeing outlined for the Cabeza Blanca vein zone will eventually be able to coalesce with the pit shell that we, in future, will be postulating at the Guadalupe vein zone. So between the Colorado zone and the Guadalupe vein zone, I believe that they were showing a much higher average grade for this area than we have experienced in the property to date. So we completed a PEA last year. We updated a month ago. We've got now 47,000 meters were drilled approximately to April of last year. We've now got another 7,200 meters to add to the equation. We have filed a preliminary, what's called the MIA, the environmental permit application with the environmental agency SEMERNET. Anticipate the latter part of this year to get the approval for the environmental permit. At the same time, the change of land use permit, we're anticipating getting the approval for that as well at the same time. And the goal is to take the existing, the drilling that we've just completed, the 7,000 meters, add it to the resource mix and be able to even enhance the project economics even further than we already have stated today. So scheduling-wise, anticipate starting off construction in the latter part of this year with a view to being in production and starting to generate revenue in 2023. And to this date, from an environmental perspective, we haven't seen any showstoppers. We're very comfortable in telling you today that we have a tremendous amount of support from the local communities. We have a tremendous amount of support from the state government of Sonora, and the state of Sonora is the #1 gold producer in all of Mexico, and almost 40% of the gold produced in Mexico has come from Sonora. So the economy is interlinked very closely with the health of the gold mining industry in Sonora, and we are going to be part of that starting next year in producing at Cerro Caliche.